Think Again, Pot 21. Good morning. Chapter 2, The Armchair, Quarterback, and the Imposter. Finding the sweet spot of confidence. Now, I've got another quotation by Charles Darwin that says, "Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge." Very interesting indeed. When Ursula Merces was admitted to the clinic, she complained of headaches, back pain, and dizziness severe enough that she could no longer work. Over the following month, her condition deteriorated. She struggled to locate the glass of water she put next to her bed. She couldn't find the door to her room. She walked directly into her bed frame. Ursula was a seamstress in her mid 50s and she hadn't lost the dexterity. She was able to cut different shapes out of paper with scissors. She was able to cut different shapes out of paper with scissors. She could easily point to her nose, mouth, arms, and legs, and had no difficulty describing her home, her pets. For an Austrian doctor named Gabriel, we'll call it Gabriel Anton, she presented a curious case. When Anton put a red ribbon and scissors on the table in front of her, she couldn't name them, even though she confirmed calmly and faithfully that she could see the presented objects. She was clearly having problems with language production, which she acknowledged, and with spatial orientation. Yet something else was wrong. Ursula could no longer tell the difference between light and dark. When Anton held up an object and asked her to describe it, she didn't even try to look at it, but instead reached out to touch it. Tests showed that her eyesight was severely impaired. Oddly, when Anton asked her about the deficit, she insisted she could see. Eventually, when she lost her vision altogether, she remained completely unaware of it. It was now extremely astonishing, Anton wrote, that the patient did not notice her massive and later complete loss of her ability to see. She was mentally blind to her blindness. It was the late 1800s, and wasn't alone. A decade earlier, a neuropathologist in Zurich had reported a case of a man who suffered an accident and left him blind but was unaware of it despite being intellectually unimpaired. Although he didn't blink when a fist was placed in front of his face and couldn't see the food on his plate, he thought he was in a dark, humid hole or a cellar. Half a century later, a pair of doctors reported 6 cases of people who had gone blind but claimed otherwise. One of the most striking features in the behavior of our patients was that their inability to learn from their experiences. The doctors wrote, as they were not aware of their blindness when they walked about, they bumped into the furniture and walls but did not change their behavior. When confronted with their blindness in a rather pointed fashion, they would either deny any visual difficulty or remark, "It is so dark in the room, why don't they turn the lights on? I forgot my glasses, or my vision is not too good, but I can see all right." The patients would not accept any demonstration or assurance which would prove their blindness. The phenomenon is first described by Roman philosopher Seneca, who wrote of a woman who was blind but complained that she was simply in the dark room. It's now accepted that the medical literature as Antony's syndrome, a deficit of self awareness in which a person is oblivious oblivious